Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ, you're here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. Sorry about the late in the week upload. Got a match for you here in the Tier 7 Japanese Battlecarrier Suwo. The Suwo is not great. We're on Warrior's Path. We are top tier. Most of my matches in the Suwo have been down tier, and let me just tell you, in those matches, I was brutalized by the opponents. In fact, I'm thinking about filing some sort of reparations claim against Wargaming. That's how badly I've been traumatized by the beatings I was taking in the Suwo. All right, so like most of these Japanese battle carriers, your flight deck is in the rear. It's not very large. You got catapults to launch the airplanes with. You know, Wargaming can say in their notes that this is a real ship that just never got built. That is not true. If you look closely at the graphic, you won't see it. But later on, I will tell you where to see the proof that it did not exist, because I have a photograph, or found a website with a photograph, of the entire A140 design schematics. And although I can't read any Japanese, which is deeply ironic because I'm part Japanese, there is no ship there which corresponds to this ship. So it's totally made up, so just keep that in mind. All right. We got the mines out there. We're going full speed ahead. This is just going to be a comedy of errors as I try to take care of business here in the Suwo. I'm waiting for the mines to get visible, and right then he changes his heading. So that's not going to work. So we'll try to skip the shells over the island here. Didn't look like we did any landscaping. Got a couple good hits there. And then we're going to follow up by doing a torpedo launch right there. And I think that was a pretty good launch, because I think he just contacted the island right there. The funny part is coming up here real soon. In come my planes. There go the torpedoes. They're really weak, but he can't get away. Boom, 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 boom. 4 torpedo strikes, he's still alive. So I get scared, and I tried to shoot over the island, I miss. And if I had just held my fire, he's gonna back out, and he would have been totally ready for me to kill him. And I clutched it. I apologize. All right, we got a Florida over there and another cruiser of some sort. So I'm going to back and turn. While I'm backing and turning, let's talk about the Suwo. Wargaming claims it's a variant of the A140 battleship being converted into a semi-aircraft carrier. 6 16-inch guns, 410 millimeters, supplemented by numerous 4-inch 100 millimeter dual-purpose guns. Technically accurate based on the ship in the game, but maybe not really accurate. Anyway, the Suwo, like these say, it's good at dealing damage when you are top tier. When you're down tier, I found myself getting my ass kicked. Most of the games that I played in the Suwo, I was down tier, and correspondingly, I got my ass kicked in a lot of them. So the torpedoes don't hit very hard, and they're slow. So even if you do get good torps out, they have time to maneuver away. And despite the accuracy numbers, you'll see from the main battery all over the place. In my opinion, it's not that great. You can see right there, one shell way farther away than the other ones. And I am not running Jizaburo Asawa, the hybrid battleship / battle carrier commander. I'm running Takeo Takagi, because the guns are all up front. And even with a full accuracy build, or what passes for almost a full accuracy build, because I don't think one of the inspirations is for accuracy. It's just not very accurate, in my opinion. It's not. And these guns, if I'm not mistaken, are essentially the same guns that are on, like, not Miyogi, the Tier 5 one that I can't, Mutsu. These are Mutsu guns, I believe, so Mutsu guns aren't great. Just one man's opinion. Actually, let's look that up. So we're looking at the Mutsu while I'm shooting at these other ships, and I'm doing badly at it. The Mutsu says 410 millimeters, 45 third year, type in a twin turret. And then we will go and side by side look up the current battle carrier, the Suwo. Oh boy, they don't make it very easy to navigate around here. All right, come on. Where is it? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, this is odd. In Wargaming's wiki, they don't have the Suwo listed, but I was just reading from it. They don't have it under battleships. It says no results matching the query. That's wild. But then when I type it in into Google, it pops right up. All right. So, and it has a different appearance and everything. So for this, it doesn't really, it says 410 millimeter type 90. So it doesn't sound like it's the same, but I believe it is the same. Hey, we got another hand job medal. All right, we're shooting at the Zeton. Maybe I'm not going to zoom in to see how badly those shells do. They just aren't going to do. You know, that was lame. We got all these ships trolling around here. I'm waiting for the Boise to put up a smoke screen and stop. He didn't really do that. So we're just kind of hanging out, bow tanking, which you don't really have the armor profile to do. Torpedoes in the water, we fire. Torpedoes incoming as well. And we finally get a Citadel hit and a kill against a cruiser. All right. Wow, the enemy is, all of a sudden they're coming right up the gap here. And I'm being harassed by a Dutch Vanderland or whatever the hell that cruiser, premium cruiser that launches all the airstrikes is. All right, Nagato just took a bunch of damage, not from us. We didn't, did we shoot at somebody? We didn't, we did one shell. So, look, these ships aren't that far away. I've concluded that whatever numbers Wargaming says the Suwo has for accuracy are not accurate. They are lying to you. This ship sucks in terms of accuracy. It's not accurate. We're shooting at the Scharnhorst. Look at the horizontal dispersion. It's all over the place. So, no. I mean, even when you get broadside ships, and we got broadside ships, we're not going to do damage to them in this match. So the Suwo is trash. Just one man's opinion. When I'm done grinding it all the way out, even though I don't need to grind it all the way out, maybe after this match I'll never play it again. I don't know. It's nothing compelling here because it doesn't do anything well. It's a battleship. I guess, I mean, like I said, it can do damage when it's top tier, but when you're down tier, you're just kind of waiting to get killed. Your airstrikes are absolutely fucking lethargic with torpedoes that do a max of 4K damage. I mean, I'm left kind of searching for something nice to say about Suwo. It has a short name. I mean, that's easy to spell, right? See how slow the torpedoes are. The Nagato had plenty of time to move out of the way. All right, here's a North Carolina. Not really a well-armored ship. It is not a Russian battleship, that's for sure. All right, we're aiming above the armor belt. And we had 4 shells hit and 1 penetration of the 4. So in the event when it does hit, the shells are still really anemic. All right, more North Carolina, because this guy hasn't. I mean, why wouldn't he keep sailing broadside? I didn't do anything to make him think about it. All right, second salvo. He's almost flat broadside. That one did a little bit of damage, but again, only one penetration. Another handjob medal. So this ship is great at helping other people get kills, but you will never get them for yourself. All right, 7 provinces. That's the ship that's been annoying me all game. Zeton coming in over there. Nagato running away. Cleveland. I think the Cleveland push forward. 7 provinces is running away. Push forward. Take out the Cleveland. Nagato's hiding behind the island. And then we'll just deal with it then. By the way, we're at 85k damage, which is significantly more than my average damage in this ship. But again, all or almost all of my previous matches in this thing, I've been down tier. And it's not any good, except for doing damage when it's top tier. All right, Shimanto is turning. We're going to put some torps out there. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about with these torps. The Shimanto is going to turn, and he's going to dodge most of them, I think. Are we zooming? Yeah, he just dodged them all. He's like, nope, I don't need any of that stuff. Now, he is going to do something. He's going to turn to get torpedoes off. And we're going to get a full salvo out on him. And, again, 1 full penetration. Unless I'm misreading those hit markers, but I don't think I am. Because we're not dumb, we turned in, and we avoided his torpedoes, which conveniently had a very large gap right there. So we get the handjob medal. I've said medal before, I meant ribbons. We get the handjob medal. That's actually my first handjob medal in quite some time. Gonna eat 1 torpedo here. It's okay. I know I wanted to do that. All right, now we got a Nagato aiming above the armor belt. All right, we finally got a Citadel against a broadside ship. Finally. Cruisers don't count. So, yeah, this... I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. Maybe everyone else is out there tearing it up in the Suwo. And Jesus, the 7 provinces is ripping me a new one with these bombs. Good grief. How many does he get? That's 3 in a row. Last shot out at the Zeton before we die, a fiery death. And we don't do any real damage. All right, I'm going to have my eyes off the screen while I talk about some other stuff. All right, from a website called Weeps, Navweaps, maybe Navy Weapons for short. It said, blah, 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 blah. The battleship carriers were all about Issei and Hyuga. That's it. There was one interesting thing. I know that this isn't the Issei, but when they took out the turrets, the ships were dangerously, didn't have any weight in the rear, so they gave the flight deck an 8-inch layer of concrete to balance the ship back out and correct the trim. All right, we're still sinking. Back to the real important web page, en.namu.wiki. I have no idea what that is supposed to be about. It's A-140 battleship. This plan has been canceled or aborted. In it, they have a photograph of which you saw a truncated version as the title card. And I can't read Japanese, but apparently these are the A-140 ship designs. And there are a lot of them. Some of them only have front guns, but those all have 460 millimeter guns and triple turrets in the front. There's maybe one. Actually, there are none. Looking at all these little diagrams, all of them have triple turrets up front. So there's 0 diagram where there were 2 turrets up front. So this ship is just a flight of fancy by Wargaming. It did not exist. They can say it existed as a 140 design. I strenuously disagree with that based on the evidence I've seen. Strenuously disagree. All right, the timer's going to run out here, although it never really got to 0. And it says victory, the timer expired. Again, I think there was 1 second left. All right, we got a Confederate medal and the hand job medal. 110,947 total damage. 36 main battery hits, 10 torpedo strikes. 6, is that 6 or 4? I think it's 6. Assisted kills and 1 kill and a couple Citadel hits. We ended up with 294,438 silver, 6,900 ship XP, 7,300 commander XP. The Plymouth had a great game cleaning up after me, I think. We had like 22, 53, or 63 base XP. My eyesight is failing. I can't even read those numbers anymore. I need more magnification on my glasses. All right, blah, 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 blah. Let's go back in the port and take a look at the ship. Maybe they just need to leave it in early access longer. That's how bad it is. All right, here's the Suwo, early access, fully upgraded. Boy, non-fully upgraded. Enjoy that. Enjoy that. All right, APHE and aerial torpedoes, unlimited charges of the damage control party, 3 charges of the repair party, 3 charges of a largely worthless enhanced secondary targeting. Can I just change that to DFAA? That doesn't make any sense to me. Epic ship XP booster, 3-year strong flag, and the fully maxed Type 9 permanent camo. 72,700 hit points with our build, a 25% torpedo damage reduction, and a 28% fire resistance. The aircraft are the Aichi M6A2 Siron. They have 2,500 hit points each. There are 4 attack aircraft per flight. Each plane drops 2 torpedoes. They restore in 105 seconds. The max torpedo damage is 4,007. Torpedo range 3 kilometers at 45 knots. So that's why I went with the gunnery commander, because torpedoes don't do a lot of damage. Main battery, 2 triple 410 turrets, 19.6 kilometer firing range. Significant increase from the base value. 27.9 second reload, 36.7 second turn time, shell grouping value of 2.2. I just can't believe that. I just can't believe any of this stuff. In regards to accuracy and dispersion, I can't. HE shells, 6,500 max damage, 30% fire chance. Pen, 68 millimeters of armor. AP shells, 12,900 max damage. Allegedly, Pen, 859 millimeters of armor at point blank range. Even more allegedly, Pen, 438 millimeters of armor at max range. And the fuse arming threshold is 68 millimeters. Secondary armament's not that great. Don't believe that 70 number. The range of both sets is 5.2 kilometers. The first set of 12 by 2 100s. Reloads every 3 seconds. There's a shell grouping value of 1. Pardon me. As you can see, dispersion slightly better, allegedly. HE shells, 1,700 max damage, 6% fire chance. They pen 17 millimeters of armor at Tier 7. I'm not even sure destroyers have that little armor at Tier 7. In fact, I think they don't. Secondary armament, 2 by 3 155s, reload every 12 seconds, and they do 2,600 max HE shell damage with a 10% fire chance. And those might actually pen a destroyer because they pen 26 millimeters. AA defense, your first set of AA is those first set of secondaries. They're dual purpose. They are your longest reaching and best damaging AA, which is kind of terrifying. But also kind of good. Max speed, 27.2 knots, 890 meter turning circle, 23.1 second rudder shift time. Concealment, 13.3 on the surface, 11.2 from the air, 15 when firing from smoke. Here's the truth. Let's look at the stats. In 10 matches in the Suwo, I only won 3 of them. Only had 3 kills by the main guns in those 10 matches. Averaging 1 kill every 2 matches, averaging just over 50k damage per match. Again, most of those are down tier. This thing struggles down tier. Just one man's opinion. The last match you saw was my very best match in the Suwo. It may also be my last match in the Suwo. That's how bad it is. Here's a look at the armor viewer. You know, unfortunately, it fooled me into thinking the armor wasn't terrible. Got a heavy bow plate on the, I guess, not really a bow plate, but the front plate of the Citadel is pretty heavily armored. You got a 32 millimeter bow. Basically what that means is I think it's not likely you'll be penned through the bow into the Citadel because of that plate. Your turret faces are heavily angled and heavily armored. The barbettes, not so much. I have gotten these turrets disabled when being shot at from the side. All right. Armor belt here on the side, 356 millimeters. The torpedo belt was another disappointment. That's all below the waterline. No doubling up on the armor on the side. And the rest of the stuff just catches on fire. So, Citadel plate to the front, good. Turret faces, sloping, armor, good. The rest of it, pretty nondescript. All right, let's take a look at the Manor Takeo Takagi base trait. 5% HP restored by the repair party. We went with Ayachino and Scharnhorst. So, I mean, I think we're doing pretty much all accuracy, right? Flammable Cannoneer in row number 1. Crisscross in row number 2. Marksmanship in row number 3. And Reaching Out XXL in row number 4. Our legendary skill, of course, is Fight Fire with Fire. Love to hear your thoughts on the Suwo. Maybe it's just me. I think it really sucks. Good at doing damage when you're top tier. That's it. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time.